Hello, this is Anthony Fowler. You're watching Sporting Icons.
All right, everybody. So firstly, I've got a couple of questions for you all that I hope that you can all help me with. The first one is I've just heard from somebody very, very reliable that the doctor in Conor Benn's camp is the same doctor that was with Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury failed his PED test. I have no idea how to find that out, so if anybody can confirm it or deny it or whatever, please let me know. Secondly, I need help with the timeline here because I'm seeing and hearing conflicting reports of when the test was done for Conor Benn. I'm hearing August, I'm hearing a couple of weeks ago, and also I'm hearing that the British Box Board of Control, Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr., Eddie Hearn, everybody involved found out about this a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Again, from Eddie Hearn, he's saying in one interview a week ago, in another interview, he's saying 2 weeks ago. The whole thing is very, very confusing for me because, quite honestly, I was under the impression that they all found out pretty much the same time we did. Maybe a few hours before, maybe they found out on the night before we all found out, okay? Because obviously they're going to be told before it's put out in public. So, with that said, the British Boxing Board of Control, if they did know, again, according to Eddie Hearn, that they knew about a week or so ago. So is it a week, 2 weeks, however. But only now have they decided to pull out themselves from Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. So the British Boxing Board of Control knew beforehand, but now it's put out in public, and now they pull out. So does that mean that their intention was, if it wasn't put out there in the public, that they wouldn't go through with the fight anyway? Because in their statement, they said that it's not for the benefit of boxing, or whatever word it was that's what they used. So it's been okay for boxing for the past week or two, but now it's put out in public, suddenly now the board want to pull out the fight. How does that work exactly? Could somebody clear that up? Because if what we're hearing is correct, then quite clearly the board are not about the safety of the fighters, they're all about their own reputation. That's all it is. It seems that they were quite willing to let this fight go ahead, but because it's put out in public, oh no, suddenly they're going to back off. Much like when the Queen died. They pulled Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall card. But they waited for the Premier League to do it first before they made a decision. It's bottle jobs, absolute bottle jobs. They really are. If, of course, that's true about them knowing quite some time ago. Bottle jobs. We need an organisation running our boxing, globally of course, but here in the UK, you've got to start somewhere, who actually have leadership qualities, who will see things and follow their rules. Now, I know Eddie Hearn, okay, he's talking about how Conor Benn, he passed all UCAD. UCAD is a jurisdiction, whatever you want to call it, under the British Boxing Board of Control. The British Boxing Board of Control don't recognise VADA. VADA were employed for this particular fight on top of UCAD at the request of both fighters. So it's almost now, I'm getting the impression that Eddie Hearn is saying, well, we're going to go by the UCAD, which is by the British Boxing Board of Control. VADA, we're just going to ignore what they say. Which kind of makes me ask the question, well, why have VADA in the first place? Why enroll? If you're going to ignore what they're going to say. If you're going to ignore it, then why have it? Which counteracts something that Eddie Hearn said, I think it was it the Billy Joe Saunders one? Eddie Hearn done an interview. I might be wrong, I'm on the timelines on this one. Billy Joe Saunders, Demetrius Andrade. Billy Joe Saunders passed all of UCAD, failed a VADA test. He says, at some point, well, VADA is the best testing agency in the world. Why employ VADA if we're just going to ignore it? That's what he said then, right?
So I'm disappointed. But what is the point in signing up for drug testing if when you fail, everyone just goes, oh, don't worry about it, just let him fight, you know? Yeah. So, and the argument of, well, it's all right with UCAD is totally irrelevant. You've signed drug testing with VADA, the best testing agency, in my opinion, in the sport.
So what's different now? Is it because it's Conor Benn? Now, I've always had the impression with Eddie Hearn that he just wants to make Nigel Benn happy. That's why he took Conor Benn on to start with. Eddie Hearn openly admits he didn't think Conor Benn was going to do anything. He had little going for him when he first turned pro. Is this money over health? Money over safety? Should the fighters be saved from themselves? Chris Eubank Jr. said he wants to have the fight anyway. Now, is that just a fighter's talk? Shouldn't his team or people around him go, no, you wanted VADA, he's failed VADA, we're pulling the fight. Otherwise, what's the point of having VADA? We're going to save you from yourself. Because not only are you currently going to be depleted for this fight due to the weight cut, the rehydration clause, now you've got somebody who's potentially on PEDs. Again, potentially, okay? We don't know what the B sample is, so we don't know. And hopefully, it's all just one big mistake. That's what we all hope for, okay? And it's gutting for me because I'm a huge Conor Benn fan. I'm a big Chris Eubank Jr. fan too. So I don't want any of this to be true, by the way. I want none of it to be true. So, again, why is it that the British Boxing Board of Control have known about this for quite some time, according to Eddie Hearn, but only now decide to pull out? Why is that? I think we know why, right? Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.